Batman and Robin 23.1, aka Two-Face, written by Peter Tomasi, art by Gillum March. So this is not really the origin story. I think everybody's kind of familiar with Two-Face's origin story. It's more of a, what is he doing during Forever Evil? And we see that supposedly he's just learning about this now. He's standing up on top of the bat signal and he's flipping his coin, being like, all right, Batman's gone. Do I save Gotham or do I let it bleed? And Scarecrow jumps in, grabs the coin before it lands. Harvey, not happy about that, aims a gun at Scarecrow and says, like, why in the hell are you taking my coin, bro? And Scarecrow's like, all right, hold on, here's the thing. As explained in the Forever Evil issue, I'm part of the secret society, and we really would like you to join. So pick a hand. And he's like, I'm going to pick whatever hand's going to give me back my coin. And so he picks a hand and ends up being the secret society's coin. And he's like, look, here's the thing. I have been given permission to make an offer with you here. I want you to join into the secret society. You will be protected. Like, you don't have to worry about anything like that. And they'll let you do as you please. And Two-Face points out, like, okay, here's the deal. I will join the secret society. I'm going to have to flip a coin first, but only on the condition that you let me self-operate here in Gotham. Like, nobody tells me what to do. It's all on the coin. Whatever the coin says is true. And Scarecrow's like, I don't see any reason why that would be a problem. Yeah, sure, go for it. So he flips the coin and says, all right, yep, he accepts the invitation. He's part of the secret society. And he says, yeah, now you tell your buddies, nothing gets in my way. Got it? And he's like, yep, nope, no problem. So then he flips the coin ahead again. He tucks away his coin, and now he's flipping the secret society coin. He flips it again, and he says, do I save Gotham or do I let it bleed? And it comes up heads, so he decides to save Gotham. And with all these villains and these criminals running around, Harvey Dent goes around and just starts shooting them all. He just starts bagging them all up. Whoever he hasn't killed, he doesn't kill any of them, but he very, very heavily wounds them by shooting them in the legs. And so he puts them all onto a bus. He goes around saving everybody, puts all the villains on a bus, and drags them to the courthouse, saying, all right, guys, come on, it's justice time. And he makes his way up to the courthouse. We see flashbacks to when he was district attorney, and he's decently well liked by everyone there. He's doing a good job, and he's putting away this criminal named McKillen. And he's like, oh, it's not going to be easy. It's going to take time to do it. And Batman's like, oh, it's never easy, Dent. So we see when he gets back into his office that there is, and I forget what their name is, but Peter Tomasi used them. It's essentially a bunch of people who were low-level criminals that had their lives ruined by Batman doing things to them. So, like, one of them has a batarang lodged in their head, one of which has a boot print just permanently on their face when Batman kicked them in the face. And they're just chilling here, and Harvey's like, get the hell out of my office. But they're also hanging some, like, lawyers and stuff, and Harvey cuts them down because, they're innocent people. So at that point, Harvey says, like, all right, guys, now what do you say we all head down to the main courtroom and we start dishing out real justice here? And so he goes down to the courtroom, he sits in the judge's panel, and one by one the criminals come up. He flips a coin. If it's heads, life in prison. If it's tails, he shoots them right there. And everyone's like, what? You give, like, he gets a tails on one guy and he's like, all right, or no, he gets a heads on one guy, says life in prison. And the guy's like, I stole baby formula. You're going to put me in jail for life for that? He's like, you stole baby formula for a mother with 3 kids. Yeah, you deserve it. So at that point, as he pulls up Bootface and the person with the batarang in their head and all the rest of their group, and he basically starts judging them. And he straight up shoots Bootface. And the rest of them start attacking. And Harvey's about to kill them as well, but then someone steps in who I'm not familiar with, but he's like, whoa, hold on, Two-Face. You're supposed to, cause villainy and crime and whatnot across Gotham. That's part of being in the secret society. You're acting as a good guy here in fairness. That's not what we're looking for. And Two-Face is like, excuse me, Scarecrow told me that the coin would decide, and you guys were cool with that. So if you'll excuse me, I'm going to keep doing that. And so he flips the coin again, and it comes up life, like one of them's allowed to live, and the guy's like, no, that's not what we want. And so he kills the guy anyway, and he's like, well, this deal is over. So he stands up and just unloads fire on everybody in the panel, including the guy who's working for the Secret Society. He takes the Secret Society coin out, puts it in the guy's mouth, says, give it to the ferryman. Then he pulls out his old coin and he's like, well, I'm still an independent contractor here. I can be good. I can be evil. I'm not going to limit myself to one or the other. So once again, I'm going to ask the coin, do I save Gotham or do I make it bleed? And he flips the coin again. And this time it comes up tails. So bad things on the horizon. But I got to say, I like this one. I like that it doesn't take the time to go through like, and then he was hit by acid and then all this stuff. Like, we know it. We've seen the movies. We don't have to be told again Two-Face's backstory. I like how it's more playing on the idea of, okay, Two-Face is a criminal because he does bad things, but he goes by the coin. So when the morality flips, when evil then becomes the norm, he also is kind of labeled as a good guy because he's not doing inherently bad things. It's all by the coin. I like that. I like that look at it. It's a decent look. If I had any real critiques to this, it's that I just don't particularly like the way that Two-Face looks. I think that's just an art thing. It's not that he was like poorly drawn or anything. I just don't like the style they put him in. But beyond that, it's a fine enough issue. I'm going to give this one a 7.5. I think that it's a nice Two-Face issue. I wouldn't say you're able to read it on its own, considering it's so heavily tied into what Forever Evil is as an event. But it is just a good delving into, like, no, Two-Face is not inherently evil. He's neutral. And I want to say chaotic, but that goes against the fairness aspect. So I guess he's lawful neutral, despite the fact that that's not what he is. It's true neutral. That's what it is, if I'm being honest. But no, that's a solid 7.5.